Rangers fans, hockey fans, Steve Valiquette fans, welcome to another edition of Bleeding Blue Shirts. John Giannone, along with your favorite analytical analyst, as we talk all things Rangers and other topics. Stevie, I think what we saw in the last week, as we come and speak to you now, really is a good indication of where the Rangers are and where they want to be, right? We saw them lose to the Bruins in a game that they played pretty well, but you just got the feeling that they were never going to win that game when they gave up a goal in the first 3 minutes. Then they go and they play a real strong game against Florida that I thought was something to build upon, but the Rangers, especially their coach, didn't feel so great about from start to finish, even though it was 6-2 final. Then the game in Toronto, where for all the world they outplayed the Leafs in that building and then come out with only 1 point. So you put it all together in the blender. What spits out to you about where the Rangers are right now and where they're headed?
Well, where I think they are right now, John, is they're one of the contending teams for the Stanley Cup that understands right now full well that every night in the NHL won't represent a test or a testament to where they are, but there are about 5 games a month that really matter on the remaining schedule, not just for the Rangers, but for their opponents. The Leafs are in the same position. When they start that game last night, it's a game where the puck drops, and this is a big one for both teams, because every team is trying to learn enough about themselves before the trade deadline, enough about themselves before the playoffs begin. There's only 5 tests a month. So I love the hockey I'm seeing. I think they're playing really big in the big games. The best news about the outcome against Toronto was the young guys. They played so well. That could have been Lafreniere's best game of the season. Not on for a single high danger scoring chance against. Chytil, of course, gets 2 goals, but Kakko was logging the puck, and to me it looked like the lines are starting to balance themselves out into a spot where I can envision, John, Trocheck and possibly 2 new wingers, and you have a really strong fourth line with Gaudreau, Vesey, and I think that they've just got a good outcome right now with the way that they are looking. To me, as a team on paper, where they are trending towards and what they could potentially add.
So in your feeling then, what we've seen for the last couple games since after the Bruins loss, all the lines were sort of shuffled around and rejiggered. You like the youngsters together for more than just a short term? You think that's a long haul thing?
Yeah, I was writing my lines down this morning, and to me, if you go top line, Panarin, Zibanejad, and Kreider, I know they didn't have a great night against Toronto, but that line's going to be really good. That is a top NHL line. Again, Trocheck, most likely with wingers that are to be named later, just like last year. I mean, the ads last year were terrific, and I have full confidence that Chris Drury and his staff can do that again. But the kid line, Lafreniere, Chytil, Kakko, I mean, to me, that is a line that has full confidence. That was Toronto's best, and they were up for it. And I know that they can continue to play like that. They seem to read really well off of each other. There's a body language out there that you can sense. You know what I really loved, and you know I love this? After Chytil scored, he wanted to celebrate, and he stopped, and he went right over to Kakko.
Yeah.
You know, and you could see that, and I buy into that. And again, Gauthier was fast again to the net last night. He's either going to get a scoring opportunity or draw. Gaudreau and Vesey to add on. I thought the defense, I think the defense is all set. I mean, you have to say that with Lindgren and Fox, that's a top pair on any team. And then, of course, with K'Andre playing as well as he is, and Trouba's really turned the corner on his season, I mean, that's a great top 4. You got a Vezina Trophy guy in the net. I mean, I'm falling in love again, John. I got to tell you, I love where they're at. Really, I do. I think over the last 7 games, they're playing really good hockey.
What do you think they learned from watching the way Boston played against them that they can put to use starting in mid-April when it matters most?
I think the depth that Boston has is just next level depth. And I think that everybody understands this is where I hope they are. And this is, I hope, what the learning is. We all have to know that our role is the most important when we are out there. And I don't care where I am. You know, like if I'm Gaudreau and I'm on a really good contract, but I'm playing fourth line, do I care if we win? I don't. I'm happy to be there. And for the younger guys, I mean, if they're in a third line role, but in some cases, just like we've seen in the playoffs in the past, when Yanni Gourde's line would go out there with Coleman and Gaudreau and they'd go from number 3 to number 2, why can't the young guys jump up to number 2 during any game? You could see it last night. They were line number 1 against the Leafs. They were. So isn't that great news? If you can have your third line some nights, because you might be getting stifled up top, and they can shift up into line 2 or line 1 even. I mean, to me, that's the best they've looked up and down the lineup against Toronto. And I think there's going to be even better to come.
And they're on the cusp now of heading into a 9-day break. And I wonder from you, as somebody who's been around the sport for so long, when you take that much time off, is it a benefit, or can it also be a misgiving to be away from the rink and be away from what you're doing for that length of time?
Okay, so there's 2 things to that. It really depends on how you behave. Relax, eat healthy, take care of your body, your soul, read, do things that are very important for you to stay mentally healthy. But as I've once said before on our show, that famous cellist, Yo-Yo Ma, he said, if I miss 1 day of practice, I notice. If I miss 2 days of practice, my wife notices. And if I miss 3 or more days of practice, the world notices.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, it is hard coming back, and it'll take 2 or 3 or 4 days for the guys to feel good. But everybody's in the same position around the league, and the rest will help as long as they have a disciplined rest.
All right, so we know every player is going to search for the sun. Are you hitting the slopes during the break?
Yes, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, going to be a 6-day ski guy. Skiing Steve.
Love that. I'll be spending time in Oregon with my kids, so that'll be fun as well. Thanks, Steve. Great to join you as always, and we will see you after the break when it's the march to the finish line.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching, everyone.